Welcome to the Bruce Williams channel. Thank you for watching this video today. I'd like to talk about two different watches that have been in my collection for a little over a year now, and I'll show you them. I'll talk about them from an owner's perspective, but I always think it's funny whenever I unbox a watch or review a new purchase for myself. I'll get many of you in the comment section going, Bruce, yeah, that's a cool watch, but we all know you will sell it in 2 months or 3 months or 6 months. And I always get a kick out of that. I never make promises. I don't know when I buy a watch how long it will be in the collection or will not be in my watch rotation. But we're a little over 12 months with these two now. So I'm going to ramble as an owner, talk about the things that I like, talk about the things that I don't like, if any, on both of the watches. The first one, let me pull it up here. The first one is the Rolex Skydweller, bright black dial on the Jubilee bracelet, an absolute stone cold stunner. And I think a little bit underrated because everybody wants the blue dial. It's underrated to the degree that a very hard to come by at retail watch can be underrated, which really, I don't know if by that definition it could be considered that at all. But the other one, let me pull it up, is the Tudor Bruce Bay Chrono Panda dial on the bracelet. Another watch that is similarly sized, this one coming in at 41 millimeters, so technically a little bit smaller than the Skydweller, but let's put them up side by side. You guys can see the Chrono looks a little bit more beefy, and perhaps that is the addition of the function pushers, the crown at the the 3 o'clock side of the dial, and the fact that it is a light silvered opaline dial, which always looks a little bit bigger visually than a dark colored dial. But I've had the two again for about a year. It was a very expensive month last year when I added both to the rotation, but I think totally worth it because I've really enjoyed my time with both. They're very different. Let's talk about the Skydweller first. If you are considering this watch for yourself, and whether that's hopefully new from an authorized dealer, but perhaps you're one of those crazy people that just has no patience, or the AD is not an option and you're going to go gray market. If you're considering this watch, the first thing that I've noticed is it is so much fun to wear. Because if you think about it, if you boil down the watch into a short description, it is essentially like a complicated Datejust. I mean, it looks kind of like a Datejust, especially if you opt for this on the Jubilee bracelet, which is my preferred bracelet. But it's the presence is nothing like a Datejust when you put it on. It's large, yes, but Rolex knows how to do a large sports piece. Technically, this is a classic line, but they know how to do a large watch very well. So it feels, appropriate on. I can't even talk. I'm flubbing. I'm geeking out. It feels appropriate on wrist. It does not feel top heavy. It does not feel chunky. It does not feel too cumbersome or out of proportion. It is just the right amount of presence that says, hey, look at me. I'm a serious watch. I have a serious complication or combination of complications, but I'm still comfortable to wear every single day if you want to wear this watch every day. So I love the presence. I love the light play. I love the fact that you get an annual calendar and you also get a GMT feature with the date and the hours, minutes, and seconds, and you don't have any external function pushers on this. It is all set and operated through the crown and your white gold fluted ring command bezel. So very impressive. I would say a little bit more impressive technically than the watch I'm wearing today, which is the Datura 42, a triple date moon phase chronograph with just a classic layout with those complications. I think this one with the combination of complications, GMT, a true GMT, and an annual calendar, it's just a little bit more impressive. Now, here's another question that I get asked. Bruce, should I go with the blue dial? You bought the black dial. Why didn't you buy the blue dial? Well, I think the blue dial is better if you care about resale value because everybody wants the blue. But at the same time, that's the one that's posted all the time. That's the one in Rolex's posters and advertising. They're pushing the blue. It's a lovely blue. I have tried it on. I really do like the blue, but the black is more underrated. The black is funner. It's a different black than what you would find on, say, a Submariner or a GMT Master 2 or another black dial Rolex watch. It is a sunray finish, and in certain lights, it almost appears bronze. It's not brown. It's definitely black, but it's the description that Rolex uses is very appropriate. Bright black. It has a lot of color play, and that's fun for me. So no regrets not going blue. I like that I went black, but if you only care about resale value, you should try to get a blue one. Now, the other question I'd like to answer is, should you go Jubilee or should you go Oyster bracelet? Now, obviously, I bought mine on the Jubilee, and initially, I thought the Jubilee looked weird on the Skydweller. I don't know if it was just the way the end links go into the case. I don't know what it was, but I thought it looked odd at first until I put it on, because I tried on both an Oyster and the Jubilee, and the Jubilee just got me in person. So I'm glad I went Jubilee. The nice thing is that you can order the other bracelet that you don't buy it on. Yes, it will be pretty expensive to do so, but you have the option to get both. At least that's what my authorized dealer has told me. So at some point, maybe I'll get the Oyster, but probably not. Really like it on the Jubilee. I think it works well. So I'd say if you're offered one at retail, just buy the one that you're offered, because you can always order the other bracelet for it and have two different options to wear that lovely annual calendar GMT on your wrist. Now let's talk about the Tudor Black Bay Chrono Panda dial variation. There's a couple things that I absolutely love about this watch. The first thing is I like the presence. I have tried on a Panda Daytona, and this is quote unquote the poor man's Daytona, or the Panda Chrono from this Rolex family, obviously branded by Tudor. You know, it is the more attainable version of the two, but it's a very different watch. It is more retro in its design elements, and it's obviously larger and more substantial. And I like that presence. You know, I'm a bigger guy. I have a bigger frame. I have larger wrists. I would be happy to buy a Panda Daytona at retail, you know, like most people would watching this video. But I think actually the Black Bay Chrono Panda is better suited to me, my lifestyle, and my wrist. So I like the presence. I like the power reserve. I love the lume. The lume is really good on this watch. And I think it feels at home no matter what I'm wearing. If I'm wearing a red 49ers jersey, it actually works pretty well. I can't wear my Hulk with my 49ers jersey because I look like a Christmas tree or something, right? But the Black Bay Panda Chrono, it goes with almost any situation, and it's robust, it's accurate, it's waterproof with those screw down function pushers. So I just really like its style, its presence. It's a very fun watch to wear. Now, the other thing, whenever I go to, let's say, a watch meetup or a local get together, and I'm with other watch enthusiasts, we're all checking each other's. Can't even talk today. We're all checking each other's watches out, and that's part of the fun of it. But I will say, every time I've taken this Chrono, this Black Bay Chrono Panda to one of these meetups, it gets compliments. Like, people like it. You show up with the Daytona, and people go, "Oh yeah, that's cool," but it's a small. Oh, did you get that at retail? Did you pay 20 grand on the secondary market, or 30 grand, or 40 grand, depending on when you bought it? It's the conversations that come with bringing like a Panda Daytona to a meetup aren't very fun. But this Panda Chrono, people are like, "Ooh, that's actually really cool in person." And I don't know, maybe they're just blowing smoke because I'm right in front of them as an owner of the watch, but it seemed to get genuine excitement from people that handle it. And that's always a fun thing if you go to watch meetups and Red Bar, whatever the case may be. It seems to be well received by fellow watch enthusiasts. They like the color, they like the size, they like the presence. I like those things too. Let's talk negative elements. With this Panda Chrono, there's two things that I wish were just a little bit better. And it will sound absolutely ridiculous because they're such subjective, minor things. By no means are they deal breakers. So the first thing, whenever I try to clean this thing, it is really hard to clean the case side with these large function pushers and the screw down, nature of those function pushers. So difficult to clean. And then the other thing, there is no T-fit clasp. There is no easy link like I have with the Skydweller. So you really have to dial it in using a tool for the micro adjust, and you don't have the easy option of expanding it or shrinking it on the fly. Those are really the only things that are, from an owner's perspective, negative. And when it comes to the Skydweller, it is my most accurate watch. It is such a joy to wear. I really don't think of anything negative whenever I think about the Skydweller. Now, let me answer a couple common questions as we wrap up the video. First, am I afraid to wear these watches around? I know I've heard some people saying, well, I can never wear a Rolex. I'm just too afraid to wear one. And this is, a watch that is trading, I think, for about 20 grand right now on the secondary market. Obviously, if you get the blue, it's going to be closer to like 25, 26 grand. And at some points during the height, it was a lot higher than that. And I would say, no, I'm never in an area where I feel uncomfortable. I try to execute or exercise good judgment with where I go, where I travel, what I wear when I go places. But no, I wear these watches. I've taken them to sporting events. I've traveled across the country with both of these watches before. I went to New York City. I've been to Pennsylvania. I've done some fun things. I went on a family vacation, a staycation, and got in a geothermal pool with my Black Bay Chrono on. So no, I'm not afraid to wear them. And they're actually pretty reasonable to insure, about $500 a year for both of them. And that is replacement value of secondary market value, not retail, not what I paid for the watches. So surprisingly easy to insure. And yes, I do travel with them. So as long as you're, I guess you could say, responsible with how you store them, how you insure them, where you go when you wear your luxury watches, I wouldn't see it being an issue. So the next question, would I recommend both of these to any watch fan looking at buying either one of them? And the answer is, if you like the watch, if you like the design, absolutely. They're a blast. They're a lot of fun. Very few negative elements, if any, on both of these watches. I've really had a great time with both. So I guess this video has been more of a ramble, more of a love fest on my end, but let me leave you with one thing. I kind of touched on it through the course of the video, if you've picked up on this, but they are kind of hype watches, both of them, the Skydweller and the Black Bay Chrono. Not as much as some of the other models like a Daytona, a Panda Daytona, or the blue Skydweller, but the longer I've been in the hobby, and maybe it's the contrarian in me, but part of me wants to zig when everyone else is zagging. So the fact that I have a couple hype models, it's almost bothersome for me right now. And maybe it's a phase. Maybe it passes in a couple weeks. But I'm at the point where, I don't know, it's kind of bothersome that I have a couple hype watches. And I say this because two of my recent purchases have not been hype watches. This Datura 42 from Breitling, nobody seems to like this. I love this watch. The other one is the Pasha de Cartier Sea Timer Black. This thing is the coolest dang watch ever, and I wear that the most. That's my favorite piece in the collection. And again, nobody really likes that one either. So I'm having so much fun with the underrated watches that nobody wants. I'm getting deals on them. And then I put on one of my hype watches, and yes, I love it. I love both of them. I love all the watches in my watch collection. But part of me, in the back of my mind, doesn't like the fact that they're so popular. So what does that mean? Am I going to be selling these? Am I going to be flipping these? I'm sure I will at some point, but I'm just vocalizing some of my thoughts as an owner and as a watch fan. So thank you guys for watching today. I really appreciate it. I am coming up on 100,000 subscribers. I'm 3,000 away as of the time of recording this video. So I want to thank you for helping me get there. I have a really cool giveaway or series of giveaways planned for when we hit that threshold. So I just want to thank you guys. Have a great day. Reach out with questions. See you in the comment section.